Chapter 180. Lamech's obduracy and defiance, Kisahel's cutting speech, and Lamech's arrogant answer. For a short while, Kisahel waited to see what Lamech would do, that is, what he would say to this. But he waited in vain. All three knew this in advance, though, but for his own sake, he had to be given some time for reflection, so that if he should, and would, be freshly attacked, he might not be able to say, "Why did you not give me time to collect myself thoroughly?" When, despite their waiting, Lamech did not make any move to justify himself, but on the contrary lost himself more and more in horrible thoughts of revenge, and began virtually to reflect on how to destroy the three messengers, including the other four of whom he must have heard through the women. Kisahel turned again to him, saying, "Lamech, you evil servant of Satan, you have become silent because my word has caught you in a threefold net, and you are filling your heart with thoughts of revenge. So much so that your whole nature is full of the most horrible curse against us, and thus against God. Tell me, what sort of a being are you? You were revealed in your powerlessness against us. We showed you the unconquerable power of God within us. You realize that in this your person, you will never prevail against us. And yet you obdurately resist the Spirit of God's eternal love within us. Say what a being you are. Look at the maids whom you placed on the first and second stairway so as to prevent us from reaching you. Look, they were dead for our willpower. Out of God drove them all out to these puddles, where they perished miserably. And they are all alive again. And you saw with your own eyes how your women burnt to ashes, and saw them soon newly rise from the ashes, transfigured. Is this not sufficient proof of our divine mission? Say what you will and can achieve against us with your defiance and your thoughts of revenge. You miserable, impotent worm in the dust of the greatest nothingness. You want to resist God, whereas we could blow you away with the slightest breath of our mouth, if only we wanted to. Oh, you monster of hell! You want to fight God, whereas your life is at any moment utterly dependent on His great mercy. How do you want to attack God? Him, who at the same instant can destroy and condemn you to the hell of the eternal fire of His wrath. Try to do battle against us, you miserable worm of the mud and the most evil-smelling dust, and you will soon convince yourself of what you will achieve against us. Glow in the most horrible, deadly, fiery wrath and revenge against me, you miserable anus of the devil. Destroy me if you may, and can, to cool your great revenge, and convince yourself even more of your greatest helplessness and blindness. You see that all your might is a mere nothing compared with the breath of my mouth. Say, why do you want to offer us the greatest defiance in place of the required obedience, through which alone you could gain God's grace, becoming an albeit penitent, but otherwise very dear brother? Speak, speak. I command you in the name of him who in his immense mercy sent us from the hallowed heights down to you in your curse-ridden depth of mud, so that we might win you over to him. And Lamech, puffing himself up tremendously, finally said, "What have you just said? I do not and will not understand. For this is no way to speak to a king who has spoken to God just like you, and has his word that he who attacked him once would be revenged 77 times. I shall take no revenge on you, and still less on God, for I know only too well my powerlessness. However, you have already violated me, Lamech the king. So try and see how you get on with your God. God's order and wisdom reach further than your eyes. If I am as I am and do as I do, certainly not outside of God, but, like you, within him. Why do you call me a monster which has nowhere its like? Since I am a king of the lowlands, and you are sent to me, speak to the king properly as an emissary and not as a judge. Thus you can break my might, but not ever my will in this manner. Understand this, you arrogant offender against me, the king of this unfortunate, accursed land.